Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wodcast podcast. I am your host, Eddie F. Today, we have an awesome show here. This is the show where we talk all things strength, fitness, health, nutrition, all kinds of stuff. We try to make it entertaining, and sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just very informative. Today, our guest, Natalie Newhart, CrossFit Games competitor, fitness coach, a nutrition coach now. Very interesting story. We get into that a little bit later. I want to talk to you now about the show. I want to thank you guys for all your participation, all your help, especially those of you that give to the Patreon. The Patreon is our way of paying those little bills like editing and production and stuff like that. And you guys have been excellent. You guys that have given to the Patreon. What do you get back at the Patreon? You get a fifth episode. We do 4 episodes, one every week, but we do a 5th episode for all the Patreon listeners. And that 5th episode's a little bit different. We don't so much talk strength and conditioning. We talk other things like, I don't know, drugs or society. Sometimes it's health related. Sometimes it's comedy, whatever I'm into, surfing. But I try to find an interesting guest. And if you get any ideas for guests for the 5th episode, let me know. If you have any guest ideas for this show, let me know. People contact me all the time, and then I contact the guests. And usually people are right when they throw them my way. They're like, hey, this person's interesting. You need to talk to them. There was some guy that I just reached out to. I was like an expert on CrossFit and steroids and, on like what you should take and kind of thing. And I was like, hey, most people want to do the show. If you contact them, they're very nice and pleasant. Hey, I wrote to him and I was like, hey, would love to have you on the show. You've been recommended by many people. They think you're great. And he wrote back, not interested. And I watched his Instagrams and I could just hear him saying it, not interested. But thank you for giving to the Patreon. You also get in a drawing where you can win a Myopox or a leopard. When I say a Myopox or a leopard claw, I'm wrong. You can win a Myopox and a leopard claw. What is a Myopox? It's an electronic muscle stimulator. You've seen these. If you go to the chiropractor or the physical therapist or anything like it, a lot of these guys use them. Well, you can have one at home. You can operate it yourself. It's very simple, and it does the same thing. It expedites the inflammatory process. And when I say expedite, what I mean is it's going to rehabilitate you. Don't quote me on this at all, but I would say with my experience, 3 times faster. So something that would take 6 weeks to heal takes me about 2 weeks with my electronic muscle stimulator. I love to hook it up to whatever injury I have. I don't have one with me. I just contacted Troy over at Myopox because I keep giving mine to like friends and then they don't give them back. And I have a little hip issue right now, and I just would put that on there, an hour a day, maybe a couple at watching TV, and let that thing go to work. And what it does, it just pumps your muscles. All the bad blood goes out into your lymphatic system, and it's great. Just works really well. Along with that, you get a leopard claw, which is a multi-tool that it's one of these like almost looks like a steel boomerang, and you use it to scrape. It's got these like perfect edges that are made. There's 2 different sides depending on what's going on in your fascia, and you can scrape your fascia where you have adhesions, and you kind of grind these adhesions out, and it makes the blood flow to the area of injury much better. And that's what you need to heal an injury is blood flow, proper blood flow. So get yourself one of these by just being a donor of the show. It's very easy. It's $5 a month. You go to wodcastpodcast.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Wodcast. And we have a winner. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Our winner this week is Chris Murch. Chris Murch, congratulations. You just won yourself a Myopox and a leopard claw. And you're going to get 5 episodes a month instead of 4. I got to do one of those very soon. Where am I going? Going to Las Vegas this week. Maybe I'll hit someone up there. But thank you guys for giving to the Patreon. Those of you that don't give, you can do something else nice for the show. Go to iTunes, rate, review, comment. That's great. Always helps out the show, moves us up in the rankings. Our highest ranking ever, 9. We've made it to 9 with the Patrick Vellner episode. It's always the big name CrossFitters that get us the high rankings. So who's going to be the big name? Who knows? We're past the quarterfinals now. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who's a stud who just won the High Rocks competition is our little buddy, Hunter McIntyre. Just won down in Texas, I believe it was. Walked away with a $10,000 prize. I'm going to make him take me to dinner. So he won High Rocks. If you've ever watched these High Rocks competitions, they're pretty awesome. It's like a CrossFit competition with a lot of running. Apparently, I don't think Hunter's ever, I think he's undefeated. I don't think anybody's ever beat him. You know, you got a guy who's a 7-time world champion. He's doing something right when it comes to that kind of training. And I would say what he does is CrossFit with a little bit more of an emphasis on cardio and a little less emphasis on strength. He's strong as an ox. He's got programming. I actually use it, the Hunter Academy of Strength training. Go to I think it's called the Hunter Academy of Strength. I'll look right now. HAOStraining.com. HAOStraining.com, which stands for the Hunter Academy of Strength Training. As much as I make fun of the guy all the time, he's just got an amazing, just his knowledge base is incredible when it comes to everything in the sport of fitness. So his programming's excellent. There's 4 different programs in there. There's one for everybody. There's a pro one for pro level CrossFitters and OCR guys. There's OCR specific training. There's look good naked, and then there's ABC training for guys like me that, you know, are in and out of hotel rooms all the time and very busy with children that don't have time and just need some dumbbells. So I bounce around and use them all. I think it's like $40 a month if you want to use all of them. If you just want one specific one, it's $20. I know Hunter's giving a special to you guys that listen to this show. If you go to HAOStraining.com and in the checkout, when you check out, if you put in the promo code Wodcast, Hunter is going to give you 50% off your first month. That's worth doing. Just do it for a month, see if you like his training programming, and then quit if you don't like it. But use my code, because I want to show Hunter that we're supporting and we believe in it. That's why I do it. In fact, I got to do it today. I'm going to do the ABC one today because I'm on the road. I'm in Pittsburgh right now. I am in Pittsburgh, and I had to come here very quickly to go see my mom. We've got a little bit of a family emergency going on here. So I'm staying in Pittsburgh for an indefinite amount of time. But what else is going on? One of the worst things about traveling is if you're trying to take like supplements and your food with you. I've got some magic spoon behind me right now that I just had to order here on Amazon, which was great. I didn't know they delivered on Amazon, so I got it like one day. Stuff is expensive, but great. I will go through 4 boxes of that cereal in like 4 days. I can't stop. But I didn't get to bring everything I needed with me. I ran out of the house so quickly to catch a flight that I never got a chance to bring everything I need. And then I got to call and have it delivered and blah, blah, blah. And the one thing that I'm really needing here is I need like a pre-workout. And it's what I go to. Everybody's like, what do you use? What do you use? I'll tell you, I use protein afterwards. But before, I do C4 Energy. And I love it. I love Cellucor, the company that makes it. C4 Energy is the best because it's got the caffeine that you need. If you're one of these people that needs an energy drink, 16 ounce has 200 milligrams of caffeine, 12 ounce has 150 milligrams. But more importantly, it's got all this stuff. Like if you heard Matt Frazier talk about beta-alanine and how he uses it, That's this. That's what you're taking here. Carnosine, which is beta-alanine, is designed to delay the onset of fatigue, resulting in improved power and performance. They also have this thing called citrulline malate, which supports an increase in nitric oxide levels. And now that's what you get from like nasal breathing. And then again, if you've ever heard about like beet juice or how good it is, Hunter does a ton of it. They've got beta power, betanine, which is naturally derived from beets. And it helps support hydration and better physical performance. And Fraser was talking about how the beta-alanine gives him this little tingle, and then he feels like he's got a second lung. That's what's going on here. That's what C4 Energy does. They've got C4 Energy and Smart Energy. It's the only energy drinks infused with clinically studied performance benefits. I'm going to say that again. It is the only energy drink on the market infused with clinically studied performance benefit. They've got a carbonated and non-carbonated versions. I like carbonated all the time. Even, I guess if I have to like chug it, I want non-carbonated. But look, you can drink one before your workout. You can drink one later in the day if you need some more energy. And it's all sugar-free. You're not getting any crap. And the stuff you're getting, the supplements that you're getting, are really going to help you because they are clinically studied to support muscular endurance and muscular capacity. So why would you take any other energy drink out there? Don't drink any of those sugar-free ones with all that crap in it. Don't drink those ones that are just a caffeine drink. This has got the important supplements. Like, I didn't even mention the one I can't pronounce, which is N-acetyl L-trizine. I'll never be able to, but that one supports mental and cognitive health during stressful activities. So it's just got everything you need. This is energy you can feel. It's naturally flavored. There's no dyes in it. It's just clear, no sugar. Can take it anytime. It's got zero sugar, zero sodium, zero carbs, zero calories. But I'll tell you what it does have: energy, and it's going to help you. Okay? So you want 20% off? Go to c4energy.com. Use the code WODCAST when you check out. That's C, the letter C, the number 4, energy.com. Use the code WODCAST, okay? 20% off. And now, to get to the show, I am so lucky to have gotten to talk to her. Natalie, if you are an OG of CrossFit, if you're around for a while, let's go all the way back to 2013. She's, I don't say this in a negative way, she's a tiny little girl. And what I mean by that is it's so impressive how strong she is. I look at all her like lifts and everything, and it's like she weighed 120 pounds. I weigh 175. She pretty much lifts everything I lift. Plus, she does it a lot faster. You know, her Fran time, she did like a 2:02 Fran. She's just a freak. So she was 8th in the regionals in 2015. She was, in 2013, I think, is when she finished 30th at the CrossFit Games. And by far the smallest girl out there. And just crushed everybody in any of the, anything that was aerobic gymnastics. She was so good. And, just didn't have that strength that some of the bigger girls have. Cut to 2016, goes into the CrossFit Games, and in the Open, she's putting up some impressive numbers, and they test her for PEDs, and she tests positive. She came out, admitted to it, and was very honest about it. Got herself into bodybuilding, then into nutrition training, which is where she is right now. She's a really, really cool chick. She does all my favorite things. She's like a dirt biker, a rock climber, a snowboarder, lives out there in Colorado. And I just think she's really, really gone through something that not many people have gone through and come out the other end a really awesome person. And so it was great talking to her, and I hope you enjoy this episode with Natalie Newhart. We are going. How are you?
Go. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm in Pittsburgh right now, which is not fun.
Okay.
I'm here. This is where I grew up, and I'm visiting my mom and dad. And it's just not. It's weird. You're where?
Why?
You're Colorado?
I'm in Colorado. Yeah.
What part of Colorado are you?
Where all the ski resorts are?
Oh, nice. Like Summit County.
Yeah, Summit County. I'm in Frisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
I lived in Vail for a little bit.
Oh, no way.
Mm-hmm.
When did you live there?
Way back in the 90s. I got kicked out of college and
Okay.
went there and worked as a ski bum and drank a lot and skied a lot.
Awesome. So we have some stuff in common. I went to that school in Leadville, and so I was a ski bum too. Worked at Copper, and it was kind of like the party days.
I was at Copper this summer and I did that roller coaster down the hill.
Yeah,
with my daughter, and I can say I've ridden many, many real roller coasters. That was maybe the most terrifying of any of them, because
really,
because I know the kind of guys that build it. I used to party with those guys, and I'm like, I know who did this job. I know the guys that they called that didn't have a job for the summer, that they were like, hey, you want to come up here and we got an erector set. We're going to build a roller coaster down the mountain, and that's the way people at ski mountains think only about fun. And they're like, we're going to make it really fun. It's going to be really scary. It's going to do all these dips and loops and everything. And you're going to go down the mountain. And they were like, what are we building it with? I don't know. We'll just get some metal and we'll weld it together. We'll use all the extra.
Yeah.
And I was on it just going, we're going to die. This is death for sure.
That's so funny because that's your perspective, but probably somebody else who's, like from out of state, they probably think it's like the safest thing in the world,
Oh, they're terrifying. So did you grow up in Colorado or did you just move there?
I spent a good chunk of time here. So I grew up in California until I was probably about 13. And then I moved out here with my mom. I lived down like in Denver area up until college. And then since college, I've basically been up around here.
Where'd you go to college?
I did the Leadville, so the community college.
Okay.
And then, that was it was almost more like a trade school, like not like real college. Right. But then I did finish out my bachelor's at like a real 4-year college.
Did you ever want to do the Leadville 100?
Not really, no. But I've seen it, and I mean, maybe I would do like I would probably do it now, but I don't know. Like, have you seen the that show that's what is it called? They do they go for like a week.
It's the Eco Challenge.
The Eco Challenge. That thing looks sick.
Yeah,
I would do that.
I had Chris Smith, who's a CrossFit owner. He owns CrossFit Trident in Virginia. He was in it. He's a former Navy SEAL, and I forget the name of his team, but it's the first all-black adventure racing team, and they've done.
Was that last year? Then?
It's the one that's currently on TV.
I saw that one.
I've been following the Eco Challenge since, or if they call it Echo Challenge, I don't know what they call it, but I've been following it since its the beginning. Mark Burnett, the guy that hosted Survivor, is the creator, or not hosted, the creator of Survivor that has created practically every successful reality show on TV, created that show, and that's like his passion. And I see him every once in a while at my smoothie shop in Malibu. And and I'm like, hey, I want to do the Eco Challenge. And he's like, nope.
Now, have you applied?
No, I'm not in it. I mean, I'm not in the shape to do that, but I've done some crazy stuff. And that is a whole nother, when you hear, you should listen to the episode with Chris and hear him talk about what they went through. And you're like, oh God, I don't know. That's a lot of pain.
Yeah, I think he pulled out, right? That team.
Yeah, I think he
got hurt or
someone's
something.
crashed on a mountain bike, I believe.
I remember that one. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But they've completed a lot of other races, so they're pretty badass. You did you start CrossFit when you were in college? When did you start?
Yeah. So I mean, I like when I was in Leadville, I was like a ski bum, snowboard bum. Kind of like a hippie. And then I went to like the 4-year college, and that's where I started to work for like the government, like got a real job. And that's where I found CrossFit. I quickly fell in love with CrossFit and just like went all in, wanted to go to the CrossFit Games. I opened up my gym, like literally just turned my whole life around to like do CrossFit full time. So, but I found it during college. Yeah.
What year did you go to the CrossFit Games?
2013.
Wow. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Wait, that was at Carson.
Staple.
Yeah. What did they call
the
it?
the StubHub Center.
Yeah. Oh, it was Home Depot the first year, I
Yeah.
believe, and then it
Yeah.
became StubHub. They sold it. So you were there the second year. I think it was in Carson.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I was there.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. How'd you do?
I made it to the last day.
Wow, that's pretty.
I was the 30th person, so I was like the last.
That's still pretty impressive.
Before the cut, I think it was the last.
I found every CrossFitter I talked to, if they weren't like on the podium, they talk it down like that they are not that good at CrossFit. And I'm like,
yeah.
Did you see how many people signed up for the Open?
Yeah.
Did you see how many people
Hundreds of thousands.
Do you know how many people walk into a CrossFit gym one day, try it, and then walk back out? And then you, because you finished 30th, are like, I didn't do that well. I think I only finished, I think I was only the 30th fittest person in the world. In the whole world of 7 billion people, I was 30th. And, like that's back when it was easy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I always hear that.
I used to think like that, but I don't think like that anymore.
I hear a lot of guys say that too. Oh, that's back when nobody did CrossFit. Nobody. Yeah. Maybe just millions of people. Yeah, but it wasn't like it is today. And I'm like, geez, just
funny?
Give yourself some credit.
We just love. It's never enough.
I have such little accomplishments, and I talk about them like they are the greatest thing in the world.
That's awesome. Yes.
We
need more people like you.
Oh my God. Like I finished second at the Junior Olympic National Championships when I was in senior in high school, and I talk about that still to this day.
That's awesome.
Like I won the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's
That's awesome.
It's I just wish everybody, I don't know, but you don't want someone to brag either. Nobody likes a bragger.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but there's a fine line, like I think we tend to, it's just never enough, and that's why, I don't know, we just keep chasing, and as opposed to just enjoying what we have achieved. And I think if I would have done more of that, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But you're just always comparing, and we think that we just have this idea that we got to be better all the time.
I have 2 little kids, and my goal constantly is to teach them to enjoy the process, that it's all about the whole idea of the journey and not the destination, because winning is so fleeting, and it's just such a small moment in time that you better enjoy the whole process. And like with them with sports, I keep trying to find not what they're good at, but what they love. Yeah. Because I feel like if they love it, they'll get good at it. And so I just constantly, my son's too young, but my daughter's 6, and I just always say, like, did you have fun? Did you like it? Because there are things she's definitely good at, and I'll take her to do it, and she's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, okay. Yeah. But she'll say, I love that. I had so much fun. And I'm like, okay, let's go do more of that. Yeah. Because I think, just I'd rather have them happy than like.
That's interesting that you say that, though. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that's my metric of success is happiness.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but I love how you said, hey, I'm teaching them how to enjoy the journey, because people say it all the time, like, just enjoy the journey. But I don't think people realize that you have to train it. Like, you literally have to learn enjoying the journey. It doesn't just, for most of us, it doesn't come because our mind naturally wants to go to the place of what I didn't do well enough at, what I got to do better at, what I need to fix, And so you literally have to train the mind to focus on, what do I love about this, rather than like just kind of even finding what I love, but like acknowledging, focusing on, what do I love about this, and teaching that, training that in yourself so that you can enjoy the journey rather than thinking that you're happy on the other side.
It's a hard thing for people to, it's an easy thing to say, hey, enjoy the journey. It's like you said, train it. It's I always tell people, a lot of times like stand-up comedians are like, which is what I do for a living, when people are like, yeah, when I make it, I'm like, when you make it, you're going to be miserable. And they're like, why? I'm like, because you're miserable now. I go, this is it. Like, I remember I told a comedian once, we were in South Africa at a comedy festival, and we were in the green room afterwards. There was all these like hot girls with us and blah, blah, blah. And it, South Africa, it's not a big festival, but it was like, we're in a foreign country. They've flown us here. We've got this like big party afterwards. We've just performed a sold out theater. And I said to him, I go, and I was like farther along in my career. And I said to him, I go, I just want you to know it's never going to get any better than this for you. And he took it as an insult that I was saying, like, you're never going to succeed. And he was really mad at me. And years later, he was like, I see what you meant. You meant like, enjoy this. This is awesome. This is like, this is the good times. This is, and if you keep like looking to the future, you'll stop and not enjoy the present. And, it's so cliche, and everybody says it like, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, today's a gift, like that. But it really is. I mean, at the end of the day, you could die tomorrow. And it's like, why did you not enjoy the past? Because you were looking to something? It's not going to happen. It's, make the best of a shitty situation, or make the best like every situation. So I see so many people that like, especially in CrossFit, they're like, when I get to and it's like, oh, you're gonna be a miserable person.
I know it, man. But and I feel like the best place to train that happiness, so that you actually are like, you find the joy in everything that you do, is in the gym. Like when you're like, just because I spent so long training out of like fear and anxiety of not, in like unworthiness of not being enough, and feeling like, oh, if I win, I'm gonna be like, feel better, I'll feel complete, and I'll, I'm gonna, when I have fame, I'll like, think more of myself. But that creates something, like it creates, it never does lead to that happiness. It's never enough. And so I think that when you're in the gym, like that's how I train, is I train like love now, like in the gym, like rep after rep, I train like, what do I love about this? Like what, how can I have fun? And why, how can I make this more like, playful, or just kind of celebrate it more?
Yeah,
because it's that repetition.
It is play, and it's more fun when it is play. I work out sometimes with my buddy Hunter McIntyre, because he makes it fun and funny, and it's like a game, and that's what people should. That's the fun part about the competition of CrossFit, is you're making a game of it. Like, make a game of it. I've always felt like it's weird when people go into the gym and it's like, and they keep saying, all the hard work I've put in, all the hard work. Well, for what? What are you working hard for? Like if I can enjoy my getting healthier, getting stronger, like, why not? Like, I don't want it to be work. I want it to, at the end of the day, go, I have this new theory that I wish we could all take an exam that is that tests our happiness, and at the end of it, you get a score, like 1 to 100, 100 being the best, and everybody has a happiness score, because we know everybody's rank in sports, or their amount of money they have, or how much their house costs, and people rank people by that. Look at him, he made $5 million last year. Or look at her, she just won. And I would love to see if those people, what their happiness rank is, and go, hey, they have a $5 million house, but they have a 2 on happiness. And then we could aspire to be like other people. It wouldn't be, because, I think capitalism and Hollywood has created this thing, like, that's the pinnacle of success. That's what I want. And it's like, well, do you want it if it's going to be, you're going to be unhappy the whole way there? And when you get there, you're going to be unhappy? Because I would much rather be that guy, that homeless guy, if he's scoring 100 and getting through life happy. I really would. And so I'm a happy person, and I enjoy being happy. Obviously,
I can see that.
I have downfalls and things that affect me, but I think we're setting a bad example for kids and for everyone, that like all these superfluous things are so important. And it's like, no, like don't aspire to be that person unless they are happy doing it. Like
that, yeah. But I think, but there's something about you like, whether you're aware of it or not, you trained happiness. You like, there's a certain way that you think and, you do things and that's why like you made that your most important thing. And I don't know if that's something that you grew up with, like your parents taught that to you, but like for me, like I was taught to like win, and so I thought that was, that was just what I trained in me, what I conditioned myself. And so, we have to train that. Like we have to train the way that happy people think, and
who wanted you to be, was it your dad that was super competitive? And I had that too. And I think with that, there's a lot of, and I do it to my kids too. Like you got to win, you got to do your best, you got to never quit, never say die. But I think there's a lot of, and I've heard this from so many CrossFitters, like the David's daughters, and like when they got third place, it was like their world collapsed. And they were so upset. And I was like that, when I went to the state championships and I didn't win it, I was devastated. Rather than go, hey, I made the state championships, I was like, my life is over. My life is over. And that happened with me with sports my whole life. So there was so much unhappiness. And that I said, how can I do this and still be happy? And it's the same thing with comedy. Too often I was watching other comedians get the things that I didn't get. And I was like, how did they get that HBO special? And I didn't get one, and blah, blah, blah. And when I got my Comedy Central special, there wasn't, it was like, oh, I was happy for a day. And then it was over. And I was like, what's next? And so, it was a lot of work, I would say. And weirdly, it did it without therapy at all. But I've probably just done enough self-work to know.
Yeah, I mean, you got clear that, hey, this isn't the way I want to continue to live. It's just driving out of like this not enoughness. You set the mark. I want to be happy, and I want to make sure I'm happy when I do these things. And so it sounds like that you just started to orient yourself in that way. You made that the most important thing.
So your dad got you pretty focused though on it. What sports did you play growing up?
I did it all, but the thing is, like, what happened, I learned it from him, like this feeling of like unworthiness, right? That it wasn't enough unless I won. And my dad like really praised me when I did win, and I was the best on the team. And so and I got the most love from him when I won. And so that became the thing that I just got really good at, and obsessed over. But yeah, I mean, I did all the sports, but that's just kind of how like the patterning that was conditioned in me. And it took me a long time to figure out that I could actually work out and actually make the mark happy, like fun, and still be fit. And
that's not a detriment to your father. Like I always want to emphasize that when people go, oh, my dad, parents just do the best they can, and they want you to succeed, and they want you, and that is a model for success. Hey, be competitive, don't give up, fight hard, win, and it, not that it's a bad thing, and you should try to win, and you should, but I do think some of us take it. It was funny. My sister said to me one day, my daughter was doing something, and I was like, never give up, never give up, never give up, and my sister said something. She's like, Dad used to say that to me all the time too, and I should have given up on something I did a long time ago. I heard Ricky Gervais say, like, we also need to know when to quit. Like, he's like, Ricky Gervais, the famous comedian, said he wanted to be a rock star. He's like, I was on all these like terrible bands and I was horrible. And he goes, if I hadn't quit that, I never would have been a comedian to make the great comedy shows that he made. And it's, so when you have that like never say die attitude, sometimes you're missing opportunities.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, yeah, but I'm totally still like all about like never give up, like for sure. It's just, where do you do that from? Do you do that from a place of fear of like not being enough, or do you do that from a place of passion? And those two, like.
Are you still training CrossFit wise? Because I know you got into bodybuilding.
I don't compete at all in anything anymore. So I like work out in my gym. You can call it what you want. Like, yeah, it's CrossFit movements, but
You
I
work
don't
out at
compete.
home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since COVID happened, I'm just like,
But
I got this little garage.
were you in a CrossFit gym before that?
I was, yeah.
And would you do the WODs or will you work out on your own?
Um, well, actually, like a little bit of both. I'm such an early riser. I would go in so early that I would just do my own thing. But I actually ended up getting kicked out of my CrossFit gym because I didn't want to keep score, and I didn't want to go hard anymore.
So
Like
they
I wanted to just make things fun,
so they
and
kicked
they
you
didn't
out?
like. Yeah.
Like they said quit.
They said you're fired because I was
Oh,
a coach,
coach.
and you're not allowed to work out here anymore.
That's pretty odd.
Yeah,
And
I
that
know.
would be pretty upsetting, I guess.
It was because it was like it was. They were some new owners,
Hmm.
and it was like the crew that I had been working out with for so long, ever since I went to the game. So it was family.
Were they saying that you were
Um,
setting a bad example?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I think maybe you were setting a good example, just a hybrid of what CrossFit is, because
Yeah.
I took my name off the whiteboard years ago and they said, "What are you doing?" I said, when I put my name up there, I said, I feel like then I have to compete. And I said, and then
Exactly.
I do things like I'll do those extra 2 reps that I shouldn't do that can hurt me as I get
Yeah.
older. And I said, and it's not you guys, it's not your coaching, it's not your training, it's me and my ego. So the best way
Yeah.
for me to not do it is to not compete.
Yeah.
And it's like golf. When I would go out and not keep score, I'd have a fun time. So I want to have fun in there. I still want to get in shape. And what's the difference between me getting an 8:30 and an 8:15 in Helen? It really doesn't mean that much to me in my life. Someone said to me once, I've said it on the show a million times, they said, "How's your snatch?" And I said, "I don't snatch anymore." And they said, "Why not?" And I said, "Never made me money and never got me laid." And it's like I'm not gonna. Weirdly I do it now, and I do it with really lightweight because I believe the movement's so good. But just I can't believe they'd kick you out of the gym. Did you put up a fight at all?
It hurt, but I saw it as the best thing that could have happened to me because it obviously that environment wasn't serving me. They wanted me to go in and like work out hard, and be like this image for people on how hard you should work out because they said, they made it seem like you're a CrossFit Games athlete. You should teach people, inspire them to like crush it. And I didn't want to do that anymore.
Did
And
they have your
I
Did
don't
they have
care.
your CrossFit like sign up on the wall like from when you were at the games?
It wasn't up there.
Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey. 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 Let's talk about my favorite thing in the whole world, all right? And you know what that is. Does everybody know? Do you know me well enough to know that I love Eat the 80? You know I love Eat the 80. You're like, what's Eat the 80? Eat the 80 is one of those places where they cook your food, they seal it up, and then they deliver it to you. And the reason I like Eat the 80 is not only because it is as or more nutritious than any of these other home meal deliveries I've found, but it's the best tasting food ever. You would never think that something you throw in the microwave tastes better than like a home cooked meal that you could get, but it does. It is so delicious. I'm smiling right now because I'm thinking about how good it is. And it's just, my mouth is watering. I love it so, so much. Chicken dumplings. Oh, everything's like gluten free and organic. And it's just, it's so awesome. And they're doing something really cool. They have an awesome affiliate program where you can quickly earn free meals for yourself or for your members, trainees. So you own a gym, you're a coach, you do home training, whatever you do, you're going to get $1 per 40 in a meal credit for every meal someone orders using your promo code, okay? So basically, once 10 people order a box of meals, you're going to get a free box for yourself. And the rewards are unlimited. So if you're a coach, you should there is no reason why you shouldn't have all your clients eating this, because it's a good way to know that they're eating healthy food and you're also benefiting from it. So you're doing the right thing. And you get enough people signed up and you can get cash. So we all know getting healthy takes more than just working out hard. It, like Rob Wolf says it, where exercise is important, diet's crucial. Eat the 80 offers the freshest, most delicious. It's portion controlled. They're gluten-free, like I said. It's got a healthy balance of carbs, protein, fat, and most meals are recommended as part of a healthy diet by like a registered dietitian and a Whole30 coach. And soon every single one of them will be. So plus most meals are Whole30 approved anyway right now. So help your gym members or trainees achieve their best and earn great rewards too. Contact them at info@eatthe80.com. That's info@eatthe80.com to get your own personal affiliate code. Okay? You get a box of business cards with your promo code on it for easy sharing. So you just say to your client, here, this is what I want you to eat. Go here, put in this promo code. That's simple. You know, some of you have 10, 20 clients. Think about it. Those guys all ordering this. So go to info@eatthe80. That's EATTHE, the number 80.com. That's info@eatthE, and then the number 80.com. If you just want to order this stuff, you want it home, go to eatthe80.com and make sure you get those chicken dumplings. Because you had, I mean, you've talked about this publicly. You had a,
yeah, I think it was actually.
Was it 2013 when you got popped for PEDs?
That was 2016.
2016. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2016 you got popped. Did that have anything? Were they upset about that at all, or were they?
That was my original crew. That was like the original owners. And I, like, as soon as it happened, I went to the owner that night and I let her know, like, hey, this is going to come out, just so you know. And I got in front of all the members and I let them know. So I feel like it was taken pretty well, you know, from everybody. And, you know, it was probably one of the hardest times of my life.
Oh, I can only imagine.
But, yeah.
It's got to be, you can explain it a lot better than I can, but I just assume that it's embarrassing. And it's like there's no embarrassment before it, but as soon as you got caught, you're like, oh, fuck. Because we all know how hard you have to train and that is just supplemental. Like everybody it's like Lance Armstrong saying, I was the best on steroids, I was the best off steroids. Like, it's just everybody's going to use whatever added advantage they can get to the top. But it almost negates all your hard work.
Yeah.
And
totally.
And it's almost like people go, oh, she's a scare, you know, like like you're going to be some, you know, nerd behind a computer otherwise. Like you didn't do, you know, 3 a days every day at the gym with the PEDs helped you get in there and wake up early and eat right every day. And the assumptions people have about PEDs are hilarious to me.
Yeah.
And they need, I wish they could quantify them better. You know, I remember when I ran track, they said, this drug will make you run 0.3 of a second faster in the 100 meters. And I was like, that's a lot, but that's still like the average guy out there. You're not going to win a high school track meet with 0.3 of a second faster on your 100. You're not going to win a grade school 100-meter dash. So it's not like it's taking you from like average human to superhero. It's you're looking for every little advantage and then to have that taken away. And I think there's an assumption out there by a lot of people that everybody in CrossFit does PEDs. And people do. You're an obvious example, but I think there's a lot, but I think there are a lot that don't. And, you know, I think everybody thinks that everyone does it though. And I'm sure you have your own thoughts.
Whatever, man. Like, I just don't care anymore. You know, like, let people do what they want to do. Like, yeah, I get it. You know, we're all just, I just don't care to like even, you know, I don't know, like kind of argue over it. Like I don't have a judgment, and like let people do what they. I mean, obviously it's not right, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna talk about who I think is and who isn't.
I won't even say if it's right or wrong. I don't even make that judgment. But because I've often said it's like bodybuilding, which is filled with drugs, which is understandable and accepted. And then there's a natural division. And if you want to go natural, we have a scaled division in CrossFit. We have a no weights division in CrossFit. Why can't we have a free-for-all and a all-natural division? And I would find both equally enjoyable. I would love to see what human performance can do with, at all costs. And I would also love to see human performance in its natural state. So I don't understand. We have adaptive athletes. I don't understand why they can't do that. I don't. And I think it's like,
yeah, I agree.
I think it would be, in their opinion, they're supposed to be a health organization, and that would be unhealthy. But would it? If it's assisting people and testosterone's making them stronger and better and recovering, I don't know.
But I think that it would definitely be more fair, and then that way, because just like it'd be more fair. That way everybody's on the same playing field. But I think the whole reason why we do it is, again, like to feel a certain way, and I think that it just comes down to people are really willing to just do whatever it takes,
Which PED did you use?
It's called Anavar.
Oh, I know Anavar.
Okay.
That's the one that a lot of track guys use.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just know it's like, it was great. It was like great for women, I guess, like I didn't know anything about this stuff, but, I know that like that was like the safest one or something, because it was going to have very little effects.
You didn't research it much? You were just like, oh,
well, like I didn't even know what PED stood for when I first started it, like I didn't even know what that was. But once somebody had told me about it, advised me to take it, I did look into it, obviously, and I was like, yeah, okay. Obviously I was at my last straw. I was either going to quit CrossFit or start taking this, because I had just exhausted all of my resources to try to get back to the CrossFit Games. Like I moved to, moved away from my gym, moved in with Louis Simmons. I spent a whole summer with him because he said he could get me strong. I hired a sports psychologist. I hired nutrition coaches. Like I did it all. And no matter how hard I worked, I never got any stronger. And you know how it is. Like you have to get stronger every year, and I was one of the smallest ones. And so
you're what, about 5 foot?
Yeah. Like if that now, but, and so like I couldn't have worked any harder. And then I had, somebody that
sorry to interrupt, but what were your strengths and weaknesses? Were you good in the gymnastics and the cardio stuff?
Yeah. Like, kind of like the longer grinders, anything that was like grunt, like long enduring, like I have the heart to do it.
You live at altitude. You live at altitude also.
Yeah, but Chris Spieler was like, I was like very much like him. Like the weights held me back.
So your snatch and your clean and jerk were just not what these
and deadlift
bigger girls are doing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I tried I tried all sorts of things. Nothing was getting me stronger. And then I was working with somebody, and he was like, look, I think what's going on is you're just not recovering. You're working too damn hard. The body can't recover. No matter what we do, it's not working. So here, you should try this. Somebody I really trusted. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, obviously I thought about it, but honestly, dude, I didn't think about it for that long. I was kind of like, let's do it. Cause I was just like, this is it. Like I'm either pulling out. Or
had you been tested in 2013?
No, but that was.
Yeah, that was in the beginning. Did you get tested in 14 or 15? Like in your attempts to get to the games?
No, the first time I got tested was in 16.
The very first test you took, you got popped. So you had no fear of it at all. You were like, this doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like they don't really test. Yeah. Because we all kind of used to think back in those days that CrossFit kind of turned a blind eye because they don't want to come down on their own sport because it's going to get a bad, it's going to project a bad image to the public. So why bite the hand that feeds you? Like let it kind of go. And so I figured, you look at a lot of these guys and we all know how hard it is to put weight on to gain strength. And you see some people that are just monsters and you're like, well, they must be doing it. And so that's what I say is the problem with having testing, yet people getting through it and people getting popped is then you always have it in the back of your head when you're working out against them. Is this person doing it? And how am I going to beat them if I'm not?
Yeah.
But if you're doing them, you have all the confidence in the world. You're like, I am doing everything at my disposal to succeed. Yeah. And if I don't succeed, I'm just not capable.
Yeah.
So did they pop you after the event?
They tested me the first day of the Open.
Open?
There was...
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely got ratted on. I definitely got... somebody turned me in.
Wow. Like another competitor. Do you know who it was?
Pretty sure. Okay.
I see this little smirk on your face. Like I know who it is. I'm not going to ask you unless you want to say it, but yeah. That's funny. And they knew. How would they have known?
Yeah, man. I hate to say it, but when I did start taking it,
you made tremendous
gains. I won. I started winning everything.
Yeah.
Like it was, my body changed. All my weights, boom, started going up. Nothing. I changed nothing else. I mean, and I'm not saying like, oh, and this is why it can be so freaking addicting, right? Because you get, that's exciting. You feel like superhuman, and that's what the feeling that we're after. And it was, to tell you the truth, it was really hard for me to come off of it.
Give me an example. Give me an example of like a baseline weight, and then what you got to with the help of it.
Okay, so let's say maybe I was cleaning my snatch always sucked, so that actually never changed. Okay, but my clean, I don't know, I was probably cleaning 175, 185, and I got up to 225, 230.
And how long did you cycle it? Was this in like 6 weeks?
I started noticing changes probably within 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay.
Is when I started to note, I started to get some PRs, my body started to change. And it was probably around the 12-week mark. Did I really see some big
Do you
PRs.
think, because I've always wondered this about steroids and PDs, that there's a huge placebo effect? That you take this and you go to the gym and you're like, I'm taking help. Right. I can do 2 workouts today, no problem. And so you start forcing your body to do things that you wouldn't do otherwise, because you have this confidence that you've got, you're a bit superhuman.
Honestly, I was training so freaking hard, to begin with. I didn't train any harder. It's just that finally my hard work started to show. I was like, holy fucking shit, I'm actually not trying as hard, and my weights are going up.
Were you feeling less sore, less tired? Were you getting that from it? I don't know if Anavar would do that. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say that, because I was getting, I was able to push harder.
Yeah.
So, if anything, it was just a very different emotional experience. Instead of me almost crying every day because of all the hard work that I was putting in and not seeing any results and never PRing, and I see everybody else's weights going up, finally I felt like I was finally getting and seeing my hard work.
You broke all your plateaus. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I walked away from the gym with a smile instead of in tears.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the age where, men start taking TRT, and it's all about just retaining any muscle I have. At my age, it's not going to go up. I'm not going to gain muscle from here on. And it's a sad thing. It's like, hey, you're not going to develop anymore for your life. It's all about retention. See how much you can hold on for the rest of your life. And then you see these guys that are like, dude, I'm doing TRT. It's amazing. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, that looks like, it's tempting. And I know a lot of guys that people write to me all the time about it. They're like, I'm trying it, I'm taking it, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And, like I said, I don't criticize anyone or judge anyone. You have to do what's best for you. I just don't think it's right for me, but I don't judge at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here, man. Same
I
here.
could care less. So did they sent someone to your home? What was it to test you?
Yeah, it was so it was the day I did the first open workout, and I fucking crushed it. Like, it was like top 3 in the world. But I got a call. I got like 50 calls from the tester, and just saying, "Hey, I'm here I need to taste your test your urine. I'll be in your area tomorrow. Let's set up a time so we can do this," and so I got the voicemail.
Didn't you start thinking like, I got to get somebody else's urine?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
So
I came up with a story. Yeah.
Didn't you think of like something to like put in your system, start researching, like, what do I need to take? What do I need to drink? Yeah. And nothing
totally
worked.
Did. Oh, I took shit. I was like, I started drinking a shit ton of water. There was something I took. I don't even know what it was, but it was something that like make me pee like a lot. And I took the shit out of it. And like everything that I researched and the people that I talked to, they basically said, you can try this, but that Anavar is going to take a while for it to get out of your system. And they wanted to test me the next day.
So when they tested 2016, was it the kind like they come in and they watch you urinate?
Yeah.
Oh, so you weren't getting away with that.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the old day, it was like, hey, take this, go in the room. Like when I did it in college, I had to get tested for track. It was like, go take this. And some of the guys then, when I said, how are we not, like, how do guys not get popped for this? And they were like, oh, you just get urine from blah, blah, blah. And they just take it in. And I'm like, you guys buy urine? Yeah. They're like, or you just get somebody else's. And so there was no way of avoiding it. Why didn't you cycle, like from what I understand of using PEDs, you cycle like outside of training and then give it enough time? Did you just not know enough about it?
I was just an idiot, man. I didn't know. I did what my friend was telling me to do. He never told me to get off of it. I didn't know enough about it. And was
he a CrossFitter, or did he come from like a Globo Gym type? He was a CrossFitter?
He knows just a lot in that area.
Yeah. Because they always say the people that get tested, no offense, are dumb because there's so many ways around it. Like, and if you don't, and I don't mean you're dumb, I mean you're dumb, you were ignorant about this aspect, which is like, if you go to like an expert about it, they'll be like, well, you're going to take it this time and then you're going to stop then. And then if they come to test you, you do that, so there's a protocol to do, but like, and so anyone that basically saying there's a lot more people doing it than get caught. Because the people that get caught didn't follow the protocol.
Yeah. I just didn't have a good plan. I was just like, hey, just tell me what to do. I'll train, and we never had a plan. He never really gave me a plan, or he just never gave me a plan.
Are you, in retrospect, are you happy now looking back that it happened to you?
So happy, dude. Like it took me down a gnarly road.
I can imagine.
But oh yeah, I mean, you don't even know, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because it took me down the road with bodybuilding, and then I ran into some really crazy eating disorders. It was hell. It was hell. I hit rock bottom, bad, and it's the thing that allowed me to really find joy in my life, to find peace, and I'm so grateful for it.
I think that's usually what happens.
So much pain.
That's what I think usually happens is, but I can imagine that just being like, as soon as you got popped, did you stop taking it, or did you keep going?
No, I stopped taking it.
Yeah.
I was scared. Yeah. I was really scared. And I felt really like rejected and abandoned, and I was lost, and it was just weird.
I remember seeing your name when it happened, and I wasn't familiar with you at the time. And I thought to myself, not that I was glad it happened to you, but I was glad it happened because I was like, this is going on. And like, they act like it doesn't. And so I'm glad to know, like, when Ricky Gerard got caught, like he was, third in the world. And it's like, okay, so we obviously know there are people doing it. And for every one they catch, there's got to be one they don't catch. And so can we all stop and get off our high horse that this is the piousness, the we are supreme elite CrossFit, we're amazing, we eat paleo and we're perfect, was like, thank God now there's truth to this. And so I think you were a good thing to happen to the sport where
and I came out, like, when it happened, I'm just saying that I owned it fully. Like, as soon as it came out, I got on Instagram and I was like, I'm not fucking lying about this shit. I did it, I feel terrible, and I feel, I apologize to the athletes that I competed with, because that was the hardest part, is the friends that I was working out with and training with. I felt like I was living a lie, next to them, and that I felt really bad about. But but yeah, I definitely I thought it was good to own it.
I appreciate that you own it, because I love truth and honesty, and the people that come out and say it must have been in one of my supplements, or it came from kissing my boyfriend, or it, and he was taking PEDs or something like that. It's like, you're not getting out of it. So so this excuse you're giving just makes you look worse. And I can only hope that their excuse is true, because I'm not looking at it like, and I think the world is going, no, you're full of shit, and now you're a liar. So at least you were honest, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, I had exactly what you said. I knew I was gonna have to live with the shit anyway. I may as well go down with some integrity, and because if I kept that secret to myself, that would just brew more pain, like, just, I don't know. I just couldn't live with that. So it felt like a release to just, like, here, judge me all you want. This has happened,
Did you see Lance Armstrong when he went on Oprah Winfrey?
No.
Lance went on Oprah, and he was kind of forced into this apology. And he did it. And the whole world was against this guy that did so much for cancer awareness. And people were out for him. I mean, there were books. And I can't imagine what that guy went through. I've heard on his podcast him talk about the pile on, like how everybody just piled on him. And once the narrative starts, you can't stop it. And people are just like ruining his life. So then he went on Joe Rogan a few years later and wasn't apologetic. He was more like, yeah, I did it. So did everyone else. And I was better than them on it. And and he's like, everybody cheats. The Tour de France is an event of cheating. And he's like, it's who the best cheater wins. And it's like people with their taxes. As soon as somebody gets caught cheating on their taxes and gets in trouble with the government, everybody points their finger, kind of laughs and goes, ha, look at you criminal. And meanwhile, it's like everyone is doing the same exact thing. Everyone. Yeah. But yet, and it's going on in Hollywood with cancel culture now, and the Me Too movement and sexual harassment, where every single guy, I think, can look back at a moment in their life where they go, hey, I probably wasn't completely in the right there. I probably shouldn't have done that or shouldn't have said that. I mean, it's a full spectrum of, like, to the worst, to not so bad. But and then to throw stones. I'm like, hey, Glass House, why are you throwing stones? You've done, and I imagine you went through a lot of that, where there were a lot of people that were like, oh my God, like, just casting you away, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw myself as trash, like literal, like I pictured myself as the trash in the gutter, that people just like kick around. Like for some reason that image came to my head. That was, I went from pretty top of the top to like the lowest of the low. And yeah,
You beat
it went
yourself
on
up
from there. Yeah.
You really beat yourself up on this one, huh?
Oh, not anymore. But yeah, I went down a gnarly road. Yeah.
Did you have support around you? Were there people that were like, hey, we'll get through this. You fucked up. It's going to get better.
It was more something to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, I was in this place, well, you know, I tried to prove my self-worth through bodybuilding. I was like, well, I still need to achieve, you know, I still need to fill that void. And that's when I got into bodybuilding. And what happened is because it was just crazy. Like, you know, I deprived myself of food, starved myself. And I won that show, like the bodybuilding show, and I still wasn't happy. And I started developing this eating disorder with food and the trash, like food in the trash, because I saw myself as trash and I was so starving that these two things got wired in my brain. And I started to eat out of trash cans. It was and it all stemmed from the event of feeling just abandoned, rejected, and so yeah, unworthy.
Did you have anyone like important in your life at the time? Like, was there a boyfriend or?
Yeah, but I mean, even like my boyfriend, I didn't blame him, you know. But he was like, "Hey, can you like?" Because we like own a snowboard team, and so he was like, "Hey, can you like not talk about like that stuff, you know, or talk about it on Instagram?" He didn't want the parents to find out.
Sure.
You know, so it was like, hey, like let's, you know, he was ashamed of me a bit, you know. So
when you did the bodybuilding, did you do that natural or were you using PEDs for that?
I started natural, but at the very end, I think I'm pretty sure like everybody uses it, but yeah, you know, and it was just more Anavar to tighten up. So.
Right. Did you never talk to a therapist or anyone about it? Like when I can imagine that day of getting caught and being put out on display, because that's what they do. They shine a spotlight on it. You feel that's got to be devastating. So like you didn't, you know, that's like a grieving process. That's something I can't imagine having to go through that. Did you go like, I need to talk to a therapist or anything like that?
Nope. I just do what I do best.
Yeah.
Fucking got to work, man. I went in the gym, fucking started, you know, chasing the next win. That's what I'm good at. Like, that's what I was like, well, I gotta redeem myself. I gotta win something, you know, I'm going to take up a different sport. And I thought about, okay, what am I good at? Well, you know, I could do dirt biking, you know, I could go motocross. I could do, what else I think of? Like MMA, and then bodybuilding. Like I thought of all these different ideas, and I ended up going with bodybuilding. I was like, what's going to be my next path? Like I got to leave this one behind, but it was just still the chase for the next thing, and thinking that I was going to create my self-worth through a winning again.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And that's been basically my drug of choice. And then I realized, holy shit, no matter what I win, I still don't feel happy.
Worthy.
So that's why I needed to hit rock bottom.
Sure.
And after their eating disorder and all that shit, I was like, holy shit. Like, that's when I started to train happiness. I started to train peace with food. I started to train love in the gym. I started to train the life I wanted to create to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I mean, I have a daughter, and you have to just be so careful because the eating disorder thing is so easy for women to fall into, and you want to like avoid that at all costs. And it's such a scare. And you talk to every girl I know is like, oh yeah, I had an issue or I had a problem, and some men, and and you're just like, oh no, how do I, you know. With my daughter, we try to talk about food as never say this will make you skinny or this won't make you fat. It's always, this is a healthy food. This is why you eat this. This is healthy. This gives you all the vitamins and minerals that are going to make you strong and healthy. And so like strong and healthy, strong and healthy, strong and healthy. And it's like,
Yeah.
don't ever want to say, hey, this is going to make you skinny. This is going to make
Yeah.
you, or you need to look this way or look that way. And,
Yeah.
you know, luckily had kids later in life that I had figured all this shit out before I, you know, and I think it's good for some people to wait to be a parent because a younger me probably would have made a shitty kid, where now I've learned enough that hopefully I won't.
Yeah. I think you're doing great just by the way that you're
Well, let's
talking.
hope. Let's hope. It's very,
Yeah.
very difficult. And I don't, you know, I understand when parents fail, I'm not like, oh, you're a shitty parent. I'm like, it's hard. It's hard.
We're all doing the best we can, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, your dad sounds very similar to my dad, and it's just win, win, win. You know, like I remember going to like football games and wanting to cry if we lost. Like I was so upset about a game. And it was like the end of the world right there, as you probably felt with CrossFit. And it's like, if you remove yourself for like just a little bit and to be able to look back and go, oh, why would I get, you know, like, why would I let that be my world? There's so much more to me.
Well, yeah, but at the time you don't realize it.
No.
You're so engulfed in it. Yeah. And so it's, you know, and it's that kind of pain that really because it's so easy to just stay stuck in the pattern, right? Of just like, I don't know, just chasing. And when you're in so much pain, like that's the thing that drives you out of that pattern, you know, or that way of thinking of, you know, winning is the only way and everything's got to be hard work and all of that. So I had to change.
I can't imagine it was fun to go from CrossFit to bodybuilding.
Dude, I took a CrossFit Games training regimen on a bodybuilding diet. So I was training like a games athlete, because that's, you know, I was coming off of being a games athlete basically, because I was really good that year. And so I was training about, you know, 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 800 calories. Like it was insane.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know, man. I didn't know what I was doing. I just assumed that I was superhuman, that I had a machine of a body, you know, and it was all like, just grind through it. It's fine. And it backfired, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can for a while, and you do have that. Your body is built to, you know, Kelly Starrett said to me once, the human body is hard to kill. And, you know, my mom's been having some issues and is in the hospital, and I go down the hallway and look at the people in the hospital, and it's like, here's these fragile humans that are in their elderly years, that's like all this shit's getting thrown at them and they're still able to hold it together. And it's like, when you're young, you are pretty indestructible. It will catch up, but you're indestructible for a while. That's why we send people like kids that are 18 into war.
Yeah.
Because they're indestructible at that age.
Yeah. And that's why what got me into, so I'm like I'm a nutrition coach for women, because what I learned is that women are a lot more sensitive. And as we age, we get more sensitive because of our change in hormones. And, you know, there's a point where we all can only handle so much, but women can only handle we can handle less than men because of our role to give birth.
Sure.
You know, and so our body naturally is going to be more sensitive because it's designed to like just protect this human being, whether you want to have a baby or not. And it changed, like once I started to really understand the female metabolism and how it responds to you know, diet and exercise and stuff like that. Like it opened up the door and it helped me help out so many women on like the women that are eating well and working out, you know, going to the gym, and they're not seeing any results. Like, you know, the women that are in the gym every day and they don't look any different from last year or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's because stress is actually their limiting factor. It's not the food they're eating. It's not the exercise they're doing. And so I realized that, because what happened to me, dude, my body shut down. In 2 months, I gained 20 pounds. I was eating 1,000 calories, training that hard, and I gained weight.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happened. So I got fat from stress. And this is what was like the big doorway to me changing on my approach to fitness and stuff like that. Cause I realized that stress was a bigger issue, was making me fat. And it's what's been holding so many women back, from seeing the results, like all their work that they do in the gym. And it's mainly women, like women, like they work hard, man. Like they're following those diets, right? Like guys, like most guys, you take out soda and they like start losing weight,
Yeah,
Women will be doing it all.
well, I think men have a harder role in society right now, which is like, it's just screwed up what's happened. And I'm not being like sexist here or like, what am I trying to say? I think women's role, because women used to just be the homemaker, and then all of a sudden it was, and I don't mean just, they were, which is a full-time job, a really hard job, really hard job. And then on top of that, women started to break free of it and say, we don't want to be this. We want to be this. And it's like, we should have the right. And yeah, you do. I believe you have the right to do anything you want to do. You're a free human being. We're all the same. We deserve equality. So women would go out, but then there was this kind of thing in their head of like, well, I'm going to go out and become doctor, lawyer, whatever, fireman, whatever it is. But I also feel like I need to be that super mom. So all of a sudden,
they're trying to do it all.
2 full-time jobs. And men have never had the pressure of being the homemaker, then being so men were always the breadwinner, and then it was, oh, now you have to do some of the home. You got to help out. You don't have to be super dad. You just have to help out. So there's not the pressure on the man that the woman has. And I see the stress, and I see, and it makes women crazy. And then the women make the men crazy. And so combined, we're all crazy together because society has created this pressure on women. And I saw my wife had the issue with like stress and pregnancy and children and blah, blah, blah. And she works with a nutritionist named Dylan Farr, who has done like phenomenal work with her. Phenomenal. I mean, it's like ridiculous. And a lot of that is he's really good at understanding women. And I've talked with him. I've talked with Ryan Flaherty from Nike about the other thing that's never talked about is women's menstrual cycle. Savon talked about it. And everybody got mad at him. And they were like, oh, that was creepy that he talked. But it's an issue. And it's one thing men don't have to deal with, that it's like, your hormones are fucked.
It's only recently, like my whole program is built around women and their menstrual cycle and their female hormones. It wasn't until 2001 did they start including women in the research for diets. They've been testing it on men since like the 1940s. So like, and the reason why is because the scientists were just like, dude, I don't know what's going on. These girls, like, their hormones are up and down all month long. Then when they age, they're declining. It's just all over the place. And so, it was in 2001, they started to mandate women be included in some of these research studies, because all the diet plans, the traditional eat less and work out more, that was designed for men, like young college men, not women. So it's pretty new, and that's why, that's why women will get better results taking a female specific approach.
So what is Fit Addicted Nutrition? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so Fit Addicted Nutrition, I teach women how to look and feel fit without, like, while breaking free from their obsessive ties with food in the gym. But I do that in a very specific way. So like what makes me different is I leverage females' hormones. Like, I take a very female specific approach to their fat loss. Like, I address their hormones, right? Because their hormones are fluctuating all throughout the month. There's certain times where we can eat more and store less fat, and then there's a certain different time of that month where we can eat that same amount of food and we'll be storing more fat but because of where the hormones are. So knowing that is going to help get you better results. And then also, like, just the female metabolism, like women, like there's a certain point where doing the endurance and all that cardio, like, isn't serving us. And then also the female psyche, like I work with the female psyche, this idea that our sort of, women just tend to want to do it all, and kind of like take care of the house, the kids, the job and like be just kind of everything. And it's that type of stress mentally that stands in their way to see results. So it's a female specific approach. And then I also I address it from a very freeing perspective. I help people break free from the obsessive ties of being tied to a curriculum, tied to a workout plan, tied to macros, like this obsessiveness of that I don't know, like it's not worth, it drives people crazy.
Yeah. You look like you're still in good shape. Do you, when you go to the gym, are you still doing, you said earlier, CrossFit type workouts? You're not going for PRs though, or anything like that, are you?
Dude, I don't track shit.
Yeah.
I don't look at a time. I don't care about reps. I don't care about weight. I don't do any of that anymore.
So what kind of programming do you do?
Honestly, I freaking look at I'll scroll through Instagram and I got my handful of things like linchpin and stuff like that, and I'll be like, oh, that one looks good. And then I'll just change the shit out of it, just based off what I feel like doing. I cherry pick the shit out of everything.
Yeah, I did that. I was doing that for the longest time. I use Hunter McIntyre's got a training program called Hunter's Academy of Strength, and I use that now because it's easier for me to go look at it. But I'll call him on the phone and be like, dude, I can't do this. This is going to take me an hour. And he'll be like, I go, I only have a half hour. He'll be like, cut off this and this. I go, I already did. I need more cut out. And I didn't want to do this, so I did this, and I sub things. And I think everybody should be like that. You need to be very malleable. But I like that you it's weird. I didn't have you on because of this, but then right before I looked at when I was looking at your Instagram, I was like, oh my God, she does all the stuff I love, like snowboarding and living in the mountains and riding dirt bikes. And it's funny, it's not a very common thing to meet a female dirt biker. And I have my daughter who's 6 already on a dirt bike, on a little electric dirt bike. And she loves it. She loves it. And it scares me because I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get her a bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you start young?
No, I started probably when I was in college.
Really? And what do you like to do? Like overland stuff, like backcountry or tracks?
No, I like track.
Really?
I like track.
You like getting air?
I like track. I also like, what's that?
You like getting air?
Yeah. Yeah. We hired, Ryan Hughes a few times. So we worked with him a couple times out here. It's super fun, but I love going out in the woods too. Like just going way out there, just being in nature. So we do both. We do trail and track. Yeah.
So cool. So
yeah.
Have you ridden one of the electric dirt bikes yet?
No.
Like KTM has one.
Well, no, I've got a KTM 250.
Yeah. Well, I think KTM has an equivalent to the 250 that's an electric. And I'm thinking.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I'm not sure if I've ridden my friends.
I'm thinking about doing it so that the neighbors don't know when I'm on the trails, if you know what I mean.
I don't think you're gonna like it as much.
I saw the problem is that you can't use the clutch. There's no clutch, so you can't when you get stuck, give that giant burst of, because it's kind of it takes a while.
You can't throttle it feather it.
Yeah, it's really weird. So. But I do like my daughter's little electric. We got her just this little Razor electric dirt bike because all the kids in the neighborhood were riding them. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm like, I wonder if they make big ones of this. And I was like, so I started looking into it and they're like, there's guys racing them. And I'm like, because you look at how fast the Tesla is. Tesla's does 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And I'm like, I wonder if the motorcycle's like that too. So it's weird. There's super fast, but they don't have that power. You can wheelie them, but not, it's almost like
it's probably delayed.
Yeah. Yeah. There's I could put my wife on it and not be afraid that she's going to just in first gear end up on her back. It just
yeah.
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 Really cool.
Yeah.
You snowboard also?
I do. I got to go in a couple minutes, just so you know. I
Gotcha.
got to call it at 12.
We
But yeah,
went
we
out.
snowboard. We own a snowboard team.
And what is
So,
that? What do you mean by you own a snowboard team?
like my boyfriend, fiance or whatever, he trains kids to, go pro, basically, like try to
Oh,
take them to
awesome.
the X Games or compete and stuff like that. So yeah, we follow the mountains and
Where do you
but
guys do that out of?
mainly copper.
Okay.
Hmm.
Is Copper where they've got a Woodward there? Camp
Yeah.
Woodward.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would Woodward be like a competitor of yours?
No. Woodward's a training center
So
for,
you use their facility?
yeah,
Okay.
for doing, trampoline work, flips, tricks, stuff like that.
Do you do any of that fun
Practice
stuff?
dryland stuff. A little bit, not like I'm so into my business.
Hmm.
So, like I'll skate in the summertime and snowboard with them here and there, but it's just I don't spend enough time doing it to make much advancement, So
And
yeah, yeah.
is your boyfriend a CrossFitter?
He used to be. He hasn't been lately just because he's always on the mountain. Like he snowboards
Yeah.
every single day, all day, and then in the summertime they go to New Zealand. Like it's a full
Lake
thing.
Wanaka?
So yeah,
Yeah.
That's where we went last year.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'll let you go. I appreciate you coming on. This was fun. Fun
Yeah,
to talk
that was
about.
fun.
And I've been trying to get Ricky Gerard on forever because
Uh,
he's always people are just giving him such a hard time, and I'm like, just hear him out. Hear him out.
Yeah.
And he's coming back. He's going to be back next year. And he's going to be good. Really
Great.
good. So
Cool.
But I'm glad you started this business is great. And where can people find your business?
Yeah, so I'm most active on Instagram, natalie.newhart. Otherwise, you can go to fitaddictednutrition.com and check me out or get on a call with me. And yeah, that's two places.
It seems like
it.
it's like a perfect fit for a lot of women out there right now, like tons and tons and tons. And
Thanks.
no, really, and it's something that needs to be addressed. And so I'm glad that you've kind of filled that gap, and I hope a lot of people use what you have for them. Thanks for being on the show, and you guys listening, you know what to do. You rate, review, and comment on iTunes, and check us out on YouTube. You're not, for some reason. Numbers are still coming in hot on the podcast, but not on the video. So come look at our smiling faces. And that's it. Goodbye, everybody.